really liked sport actually from a young age and from a child, and I played for Applemore Netball Club for about 14-15 years. I then stupidly let work get in the way. I was finding it too much, juggling a family, working very long hours, going to netball, and instead of being enjoyable it was becoming stressful managing it. But then I started feeling ill a few years ago, and I just hardly had the energy to even, I was struggling to go to work and get through life. I was working about 12-13 hours every day, and that was preventing me doing any exercise, so kind of my whole regime stopped. Yeah, so I stopped doing sport because I let work take over my life completely. And then in September 2016 I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was all a bit of a shock, and your whole world turns upside down. I'd gone to work in the morning, left work in the afternoon to go to my hospital appointment, and never went back to work, so my whole life changed. Obviously I hadn't been doing much sport that period leading up to it, and then I was so ill through my chemotherapy, surgery and radiotherapy, I just couldn't do any sport at all. Some days I was struggling to even walk. It impacted me that much on my legs. It was just exhausting going through the treatment that the thought of exercise didn't really come into it, even though I'd always enjoyed it. As I was aware from the side effects of my treatment, I ended up with a frozen shoulder where I don't have full use of my arm, and I still don't. And I knew that I can't do high impact sports because of the type of surgery I had. So I was kind of thinking netball is what I've always loved. And it just so happened at Christmas, I was sitting down, I saw in our local magazine, the Hamble magazine, that they were starting netball sessions, walking netball, which I hadn't even heard of. So rang up the netball development officer to say, look, I'm not really sure, I've done no exercise, I'm recovering from cancer, I've got a frozen shoulder and lymphedema in my arm, can I even turn up, or am I just going to be it's going to be impossible. So I spoke to my doctors to say, I'd really like to try, I think it would be really good both mentally and physically to get out meeting people again, because I lost all my confidence, I lost my hair, I lost my fitness, I just didn't feel like me. And they said, really encouraging, come to the walking netball sessions. I told Mo, who's our host, about my illnesses. Everybody instantly welcomed me. It was so nice. And the first time I played, it just so happened I got given the centre bib, which was my old position, which I absolutely love. And I just remember, for the first time in what probably was 18 months or so, I really felt alive. I felt me again. I wasn't this survivor of cancer, I wasn't this person who's been through. I was Vicky, who can play sport. I might not be able to run, I might not be able to jump as well, but actually it was still just as good, and I enjoyed it just as much as I always had before, and kind of it hasn't stopped from there. Physically, I've got fitter. Whilst I'm not at the fitness level of most people my age, I would say it's increased 100%. I'm doing so much more now, and I think what's particularly good is the more I exercise and the more fitness I do, the less my side effects are, and I feel better. Some of the side effects in moving my arm movement's increased considerably by using it and doing sport. So overall, my physical health, I feel so much better now than I did in January. And again, mentally, I think getting out, meeting new people, because mine was, I'm no longer at work, therefore I wasn't seeing my usual group of people. I've met a whole load of new friends. It's nice to come out and socialise. One of the things the hospital and all the research I've done for cancer is being physically active is so good for your well-being, whether it's cancer, any other illness, or just keeping yourself healthy. So I actually put activity and sports I like doing as the priority in my life now, rather than, having not prioritised it before. Really important that sport is about having fun. You should enjoy it, so don't try and do something. If you don't enjoy it, you'll never want to go and want to do it. It should be something you love, and I do think there is an activity for somebody at any level of sport and injury that they can do. And really, I think the most important thing is, you know, you'll never reach your potential unless you move out of that comfort zone to see what you can do. And I think actually the confidence in doing something new is amazing, and you'll find, you know, you really do have fun and you'll meet some wonderful people.